Hi, my name is Mark Warren, and I wanted to take a few minutes to help you get a better understanding of the key financial fields in DonorPerfect Online and how to make them work for you and your organization. The time you invest now in putting together a solid coding plan will benefit your organization for years to come. The fields are General Ledger, Campaign, Solicitation, and Sub-Solicitation, and they appear on the gift details screen as drop-down selection items. The values that appear in each of these drop-down selectors is controlled from the Settings Code Maintenance window, and you'll notice in the resulting window that it displays both the code and description values. In the gift details screen, what you will see in the drop-downs are the description values. Let's take an example of a hypothetical organization. We'll call it the Foundation. They do foreign missions work, and they're also launching a building program. Now, as a non-profit organization, the Foundation runs major fundraising campaigns each fall and each spring. They do various fundraising activities, including banquets, golf games. They sell items with the Foundation's logo. They also bring in high-profile speakers to help raise money. Let's take a look at how this could be represented within the key financial fields in DonorPerfect. The concept of general ledger codes will be very familiar to your financial people. These are the top-level financial buckets that are used to measure the financial performance of any organization and to report those results to external parties. Normally, every donation you receive will be assigned a GL code. In our example, the organization has a GL or general ledger account for general day-to-day funds received, an additional GL account for overseas missions, and has created yet another GL account for the building expansion program. These GL accounts will allow the organization to measure and review the financial performance of each of these activities. We've created campaign codes for 3 campaigns to allow us to identify money coming in that's associated with each of these major fundraising programs. To provide further granularity, we're creating solicitation codes corresponding to particular revenue sources and activities we want to track. Notice that we've also created sub-solicitation codes for individual speakers so that we can review the financial returns on each of these sessions, and also for the May banquet and the September golf tournament. Let's take a look at how this coding works in a couple of examples. Supporter Susan Barlow sends in $100 towards the building fund and an additional $150 towards general operating costs. Her donations were as a result of online advertising done during the fall 2014 campaign. So the $100 donation has gone to the General Ledger Code 4700 for the Building Expansion Fund. It's also associated with the fall campaign, and the solicitation code is also identified as SHOP, designating that it was an online donation. The $150 donation goes to a different General Ledger Code, 4300, which is for the General Fund. It has the same campaign code and the same solicitation code because it was also through online and it was also associated with the fall campaign. Supporter Bill Bailey, on returning home, attends Joan Smith's speech and gives the foundation $200 towards general operating costs. So the $200 donation has gone to General Ledger Code 4300, which is the general fund. It was not associated with a campaign, so we're not filling in that campaign field for this particular donation. And point being here that other than the General Ledger Code, which as we said should always be filled in for every donation, the other 3, campaign, solicitation, and sub-solicitation code, will only be filled in on an as required or an as appropriate basis. So there was no campaign associated with this, so we leave that field blank in this case. We do, however, fill in the solicitation code to identify that the money came from a speaker, and the sub-solicitation code indicating the particular speaker that it was associated with. A month later, Bill makes another $100 donation to help with missions work. So in this case, you can see General Ledger Code 4500 for the missions fund is identified, but illustrating the point made in the previous example, it was not associated with a particular campaign or solicitation or sub-solicitation, so those fields are, in this case, left blank. So some key points just to kind of wrap up. The time you invest now in setting up a financial plan will result in solid tracking later on. Ultimately, when the board gathers at the end of the year and wants to know how much did we raise for our missions work, or how much did we raise through events, how much did we get on that golf tournament, you will be, by setting up a solid tracking system, you will be making it possible for them to get not only good answers, but to do financial planning for the future. Regarding GL codes, if you're not sure of what GL codes to use, your accountant or bookkeeper can definitely help you determine what GL codes you'll need for your system. Use campaign codes for major fundraising programs. Use solicit codes for types of activities and particular revenue sources you want to track, such as donations, events, online shop, missions, and so on. Use sub-solicit codes to provide an additional level of granularity for your solicit codes. For example, specific events like the golf tournament or a banquet, auctions, item types, supported locations. If, for example, you did missions work in India in 8 different locations, the sub-solicit codes could be used to identify the specific locations where the money is to be sent. Thanks for taking the time to look at this, and I applaud your investment of time in putting together a solid tracking system, a solid coding system for your DonorPerfect Online. Every second that you spend doing that task is time very well spent. Thank you.